Imagine a big, shiny building, taller than most trees, filled with computers and busy people. This is where Sarah works. For 10 long years, Sarah has been the night janitor. Every evening, after everyone else goes home, she quietly pushes her cleaning cart through the silent hallways, emptying trash cans and wiping down desks. Nobody really notices Sarah. They might say hi or good evening, but that's about it. She's just part of the background, like the office plants or the humming air conditioner. But Sarah sees everything. She sees who works late, who's stressed, and who's happy. She knows more about this company than most people think. Sarah isn't just any janitor, though. She has a big secret that no one in the company knows. This secret is the reason she's been pushing that cleaning cart for so long. It's a secret that's about to change everything. This company, this huge building filled with computers and busy people, actually belongs to her. She's the owner. Now let's talk about Mr. Thompson. He's the CEO, which means Chief Executive Officer. He's in charge of everything. He wears expensive suits and has a fancy office on the top floor with a great view of the city. But Mr. Thompson isn't a very good CEO. He makes decisions that don't make sense, like spending lots of money on things the company doesn't really need, while ignoring the things that are important, like the employees. He seems to care more about looking good than actually doing good. He often yells at people and takes credit for their ideas. The employees are starting to get really unhappy. They whisper about him in the hallways, complaining about his unfair rules and strange decisions. They're worried about their jobs because the company isn't doing well under his leadership. Sarah sees all of this. She sees the stress on their faces and hears their worried conversations while she's cleaning. She knows Mr. Thompson is ruining her company, the company her father built. And that makes her angry. Sarah watched Mr. Thompson strut through the office, barking orders into his phone. He didn't even glance at the hard-working programmers burning the midnight oil, trying to fix the latest problem caused by his rushed decisions. Sarah clenched her jaw. She knew those programmers. They were good people, dedicated to their work. They deserved better. One evening, Sarah overheard Mr. Thompson talking to someone on the phone. "Just cut their benefits," he said, his voice cold. "They're lucky to have a job." Sarah's heart sank. Cutting benefits would hurt the employees, especially those with families. It was a cruel and unnecessary move. That night, as she scrubbed the break room floor, Sarah thought about her father. He had always treated his employees like family. He believed in taking care of them, knowing that happy employees meant a successful company. Mr. Thompson was doing the exact opposite. A spark of determination flickered in Sarah's eyes. She couldn't let this continue. She had to do something. But what could a simple janitor do against a powerful CEO? The answer, she knew, lay in the secret she had been keeping for so long. It was time to reveal the truth. 10 years ago, Sarah was a very different person. She was young, just out of college, and full of dreams. Her father, Mr. Elijah, was a brilliant inventor and a kind man. He had built this company from the ground up, pouring his heart and soul into it. He treated his employees like family, just as Sarah remembered. Then tragedy struck. Mr. Elijah fell ill suddenly and passed away, leaving Sarah heartbroken and overwhelmed. In his will, he left the entire company to Sarah. She was shocked. She knew nothing about running a big business. She sat in her father's empty office, surrounded by paperwork and unanswered questions. She felt lost and scared. An older gentleman, Mr. Abernathy, a trusted friend of her father and a board member, offered to help. He suggested that she let him manage the company until she was ready to take over. He said she could learn the ropes from the ground up, understand every aspect of the business. Sarah, trusting his advice, agreed. She decided to go undercover, to become a janitor, to see the company through the eyes of the everyday workers. She thought it was the best way to honor her father's legacy. She never imagined it would take this long or that things would get so bad. So, Sarah started her new life as a janitor. At first, it was hard. She had never done such work before. Her hands were sore and her back ached. But she was determined to learn everything she could. She cleaned offices, emptied trash cans, and listened to the conversations around her. She learned about the different departments, the challenges they faced, and the people who worked there. She saw who was happy and who was struggling. She noticed the little things that Mr. Abernathy, busy in his office, never seemed to see. At the beginning, Mr. Abernathy would check in on her, asking how she was doing and if she needed anything. But as time went on, he visited less and less. He seemed more interested in making deals and climbing the corporate ladder than in Sarah's progress. Slowly, Sarah started to feel like she was losing control of her father's company. Mr. Abernathy made decisions without consulting her, and he started to bring in people she didn't know or trust. She felt a growing unease in her heart. Something wasn't right. Over time, Mr. Abernathy started changing things. He replaced board members with his own people who seemed to agree with everything he said. He made it harder for Sarah to access important company documents, saying they were too complicated for her to understand. He even moved her father's portrait from the lobby to a small, dusty room in the back. Then came Mr. Thompson. Mr. Abernathy introduced him as a brilliant businessman with a proven track record. But Sarah didn't trust him. There was something about Mr. Thompson's slick smile and empty promises that made her uneasy. Mr. Abernathy pushed for Mr. Thompson to become CEO, and with his hand-picked board members, he succeeded. Sarah felt powerless to stop it. She was just a janitor, after all. Who would believe her if she spoke out? With Mr. Thompson at the helm, the company started to change for the worse. Innovation slowed down, employee morale plummeted, and profits started to decline. Sarah watched in dismay as her father's legacy was slowly being destroyed. She knew she had to act soon, before it was too late. The crisis came when Mr. Thompson decided to invest in a new and proven technology that everyone else warned him against. He ignored their advice and poured millions of dollars into the project. It failed miserably. The company lost a fortune. Now Mr. Thompson was announcing massive layoffs. Hundreds of employees, many of whom had worked at the company for years, were going to lose their jobs. Sarah overheard their tearful conversations in the hallways, their fears about how they would pay their bills and support their families. She saw the fear in their eyes, and it broke her heart. She knew she couldn't stand by and watch her father's company be destroyed and these good people suffer. She had to do something, even if it meant revealing her secret and risking everything. She started to plan her next move. She knew she needed proof of Mr. Thompson's mismanagement and Mr. Abernathy's deception. She began to subtly gather evidence, collecting documents, and recording conversations. It was a risky game, but she was determined to play it for the sake of her father's legacy and the well-being of the employees she had come to care about. The time for action had come. Gathering evidence wasn't easy. Sarah had to be careful. She used her access as a janitor to her advantage, finding documents in trash cans and listening to conversations in empty offices. She even learned how to bypass some of the security measures Mr. Abernathy had put in place. One night, while cleaning Mr. Abernathy's office, she found a hidden file containing emails between him and Mr. Thompson. The emails revealed their plan to deliberately sabotage the company so they could buy it for themselves at a low price. Sarah was shocked and disgusted. She copied the file onto a USB drive, her hands trembling with anger. This was the proof she needed. She now had concrete evidence of their betrayal. She knew that revealing this information would be risky, but she was ready to face the consequences. She had to find a way to present the evidence to the board and convince them that Mr. Thompson and Mr. Abernathy were not who they seemed to be. But how could she, a simple janitor, possibly convince a group of powerful executives to believe her? She knew she had to be smart and strategic. The fate of the company and the livelihoods of its employees depended on it. Sarah remembered a clause in the company charter, a document her father had created when he first started the business. It stated that the owner of the company had the right to call a special board meeting at any time for any reason. Only she knew about this clause. Mr. Abernathy had probably forgotten it existed. She decided to use it. She drafted a letter invoking the clause and requesting an immediate board meeting. She signed the letter with her full legal name, the name her father had given her, the name that was on all the company's official documents. She slipped the letter into an interoffice envelope and hand-delivered it to each board member, making sure to avoid Mr. Abernathy and Mr. Thompson. She knew they would try to stop her if they found out what she was planning. The next morning, the board members were buzzing with confusion. They had received a strange letter from someone they didn't recognize, requesting a meeting and claiming to be the owner of the company. They dismissed it as a prank, but the letter was official and it cited a little-known clause in the company charter. Intrigued, they decided to hold the meeting. Sarah's plan was in motion. The boardroom was filled with tension. Mr. Thompson and Mr. Abernathy looked annoyed and confused. The other board members whispered amongst themselves, wondering who had called this meeting and why. Suddenly, the door opened, and Sarah walked in. She wasn't wearing her janitor uniform. Instead, she was dressed in a smart business suit, her hair neatly styled. She walked confidently to the head of the table and took a seat. Mr. Thompson scoffed. "What is the meaning of this? Who are you?" And why are you here? Sarah looked directly at him, her eyes filled with determination. My name is Sarah Elijah, she said, her voice clear and strong. And I am the owner of this company. A gasp went through the room. Mr. Thompson and Mr. Abernathy stared at her in disbelief. The other board members looked shocked and bewildered. No one knew what to say. I know this comes as a surprise, Sarah continued, but it's true. My father, Elijah Stone, left the company to me when he passed away. She paused, letting her words sink in. And for the past 10 years, I've been working here, learning the business, waiting for the right time to step forward. That time she knew was now. Sarah opened her briefcase and pulled out a stack of documents. I know you're all probably wondering why I kept this a secret for so long, she said. I wanted to learn the company from the ground up to understand every aspect of the business. But more importantly, I wanted to protect my father's legacy. She placed the USB drive on the table. This contains evidence of Mr. Thompson's mismanagement and Mr. Abernathy's manipulation. You'll find emails, financial records, and other documents that clearly show their plan to sabotage the company for their own personal gain. Mr. Thompson jumped to his feet, his face red with anger. This is outrageous, he shouted. These are lies. This woman is a fraud. Mr. Abernathy tried to remain calm, but Sarah could see the sweat on his brow. Don't listen to her, he said to the board members. She's clearly unstable. She's trying to take over the company illegally. Sarah ignored them. She turned to the board members, her voice firm and confident. I urge you to review the evidence, she said. See for yourselves what these men have been doing behind your backs. The future of this company depends on it. She knew the truth was on her side. One by one, the board members plugged the USB drive into their laptops and began to review the files. The evidence was irrefutable. They saw the emails outlining Mr. Thompson and Mr. Abernathy's plan, the financial records showing their wasteful spending, and the documents proving their attempts to hide information from the board. As they read, their expressions changed from confusion to shock to anger. They realized they had been betrayed by the two men they had trusted the most. They looked at Sarah with a mixture of awe and respect. They couldn't believe she had been working as a janitor all this time, secretly gathering evidence and waiting for the right moment to expose the truth. Finally, one of the board members spoke up. Mr. Thompson, Mr. Abernathy, she said, her voice filled with disappointment, I think you have some explaining to do. Mr. Thompson and Mr. Abernathy remained silent, their faces pale. They knew they had been caught. There was no way out. The board members looked at each other and then at Sarah. They knew what they had to do. A vote was called and it was unanimous. Mr. Thompson was removed as CEO effective immediately. With Mr. Thompson out of the picture, the board turned to Sarah. What are your plans for the company, Ms. Elijah? One of them asked. Sarah smiled. I plan to step in as interim CEO, she said. I have a vision for this company. A vision that honors my father's legacy and puts the well-being of our employees first. She outlined her plan to reverse Mr. Thompson's disastrous decisions, to invest in new technologies, and to create a more supportive and collaborative work environment. She spoke passionately about her commitment to innovation, fairness, and employee growth. The board members were impressed. They could see that Sarah was not only intelligent and capable, but also deeply committed to the company's success. They knew she was the right person to lead them forward. We support you, Ms. Elijah, one of the board members said. We believe in your vision. Mr. Thompson and Mr. Abernathy, who were still in the room, looked defeated and humiliated. They had lost. Their plan had failed. You haven't heard the last of this, Mr. Thompson shouted as he was being escorted out of the boardroom by security. Mr. Abernathy simply hung his head in shame. In the days that followed, Sarah wasted no time in implementing her plan. First, she reversed the layoffs, bringing back the employees who had been unfairly dismissed. She personally apologized to each of them, promising to create a better work environment. Next, she announced a new initiative to invest in employee training and development. She wanted to give everyone the opportunity to learn new skills and advance in their careers. She believed that investing in her employees was the best way to invest in the company's future. She also made it a priority to connect with the employees, listening to their concerns and ideas. She held town hall meetings, visited different departments, and even ate lunch in the company cafeteria. She wanted everyone to know that she was accessible and that she cared about their well-being. The employees were overjoyed. They had a new leader who listened to them, respected them, and genuinely cared about their success. Morale soared and the company started to recover. Sarah was proving to be an exceptional leader, just like her father had been. She was finally fulfilling her destiny. One day, a reporter from a major news outlet contacted Sarah. They had heard rumors about the janitor who had become CEO and wanted to tell her story. Sarah hesitated at first. She was a private person and didn't like being in the spotlight. But then she realized that her story could inspire others. It could show them that anything is possible if you work hard, stay true to your values, and never give up on your dreams. So, she agreed to do the interview. The article was published a few weeks later, and it went viral. People all over the world were amazed by Sarah's story. They admired her courage, her determination, and her commitment to her employees. She received countless letters and emails from people who had been inspired by her example. They told her that her story had given them hope and that they were now determined to pursue their own dreams, no matter how impossible they seemed. Sarah was humbled by the response. She never expected her story to have such a profound impact on so many people. But she was grateful for the opportunity to make a difference in the world. She knew that her father would have been proud of her. She had saved his company, protected his employees, and inspired millions of people along the way. Even though she was now the CEO and a global sensation, Sarah never forgot her roots. She continued to visit the cleaning staff, sharing stories and offering encouragement. She knew that they, too, had dreams and aspirations, and she wanted to help them achieve their full potential. She established a scholarship program for the children of her employees, providing them with the opportunity to attend college and pursue their own passions. She wanted to break the cycle of poverty and create a brighter future for the next generation. She also created a mentorship program, pairing experienced employees with newer ones, providing them with guidance and support. She believed that everyone deserved a chance to succeed, and she wanted to create a culture of collaboration and mentorship within the company. And every night, after everyone else had gone home, Sarah would still walk the halls of the company, not with a cleaning cart, but with a sense of pride and gratitude. She had come a long way from being the overlooked janitor. She was now a respected leader, an inspiration to millions, and the proud guardian of her father's legacy. Her journey was far from over, but she was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. She knew that with hard work, dedication, and a commitment to her values, anything was possible. The company flourished under Sarah's leadership. Innovation sparked again, with new ideas and projects blooming from every department. The employees felt valued and empowered, and they were eager to contribute their talents to the company's success. Sarah implemented a policy of open communication, encouraging employees to share their ideas and concerns without fear of judgment. She created a suggestion box, both physical and digital, and personally reviewed every submission, implementing the best ideas and addressing the concerns. She also established a wellness program, offering employees access to fitness classes, healthy meals, and mental health resources. She knew that happy and healthy employees were more productive and creative. The company's profits soared, but Sarah never forgot her commitment to social responsibility. She donated a portion of the profits to local charities and supported community initiatives. She wanted to make a positive impact on the world, not just make money. Under Sarah's leadership, the company became a model for other businesses, demonstrating that it was possible to be both profitable and ethical. She had transformed her father's company into something truly special, a place where people were valued, ideas were encouraged, and the community was supported. She had proven that even a janitor could change the world. Sarah believed in giving everyone a second chance, even Mr. Abernathy. After some time had passed and after seeking advice from trusted mentors, she decided to reach out to him. He was living a quiet life, away from the corporate world, seemingly remorseful for his actions. She offered him a position as a consultant, helping her with special projects related to employee training and ethical leadership. She believed that his experience, even with its past mistakes, could be valuable in shaping a better future for the company. Mr. Abernathy was surprised and grateful for the opportunity. He accepted the offer and dedicated himself to helping Sarah build a more ethical and responsible company. He used his past mistakes as a learning experience, sharing his insights with employees and helping them avoid similar pitfalls. Sarah's decision to forgive Mr. Abernathy was controversial. Some people criticized her for giving him a second chance, but she believed in redemption. She knew that everyone was capable of change, and she wanted to give him the opportunity to make amends for his past actions. In the end, Sarah's decision proved to be the right one. Mr. Abernathy became a valuable asset to the company, helping her create a culture of trust, integrity, and ethical leadership. He had learned from his mistakes, and he was determined to make a positive impact on the world. Sarah had not only saved her father's company but had also helped someone find redemption. Years passed, and Sarah continued to lead the company with wisdom, compassion, and integrity. She never forgot her time as a janitor, and she always treated every employee with respect and kindness. She understood that everyone, regardless of their position, had something valuable to contribute. She became a mentor to many young entrepreneurs, sharing her story and offering guidance. She encouraged them to build businesses that were not only profitable but also socially responsible. She wanted to create a world where businesses were a force for good. She also wrote a book about her experiences, sharing her insights on leadership, ethics, and the importance of second chances. The book became a bestseller, inspiring millions of people around the world. Sarah's story became a legend, a testament to the power of hard work, perseverance, and the unwavering belief in one's own potential. She had transformed herself from an overlooked janitor into a respected leader, a global icon, and a true inspiration to all. She proved that it's not where you start that matters, but where you choose to go. And Sarah chose to go all the way to the top, bringing everyone with her. Her father would have been incredibly proud. And so, Sarah's journey came full circle. She had started as a young woman, overwhelmed by grief and responsibility, unsure of her own abilities. She had gone undercover, becoming a janitor, learning the ropes, and observing the inner workings of her father's company. She had faced betrayal, deception, and the threat of losing everything. But she had never given up. She had remained true to her values, worked hard, and believed in herself. In the end, she had not only saved her father's company but had also transformed it into something even greater. She had created a place where people were valued, ideas were encouraged, and the community was supported. She had proven that anyone, regardless of their background or circumstances, could achieve their dreams. She often thought about her father, wondering if he was watching over her, smiling with pride. She knew that he would have been amazed by what she had accomplished. She had honored his legacy in the best way possible. And as she looked out over the city from her office on the top floor, she smiled. She was no longer the overlooked janitor. She was Sarah Elijah, the CEO, the owner, the leader, the inspiration. And her story was just beginning. The end.